Parents with Matt and Bailey Gang.
All right, welcome back, Kamikaze. Here we are, episode 6. Episode 6. Episode 6.
Oh, you're in for a
That's
real treat tonight, friends.
That's a great lead in. Because what are we talking tonight? We're talking about
Growing up on a farm.
yeah, that wasn't lead in at all. It's just joking.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Lessons from growing up on a farm. So those two of you listening to this podcast who don't know us.
It was 3 last week. Thank you.
So, well, we lost one.
Probably too much Bailey in the last episode.
Oh. So those of you that don't know us,
Welcome. I'm Matt.
Hey, Bailey. So we both grew up on farms. What do you call them? Animal farms is a better word. Livestock farms.
Livestock, yeah.
In Iowa. We didn't know each other till we were 20 or whatever, but
Yeah, we grew up literally like 10 miles away from each other.
yeah, competing schools.
Wasn't much competition.
You probably saw me on all the courts, probably drooling over me, but here we are.
Yes.
Anyway, we thought tonight, I feel like a lot of our background growing up on those farms have really shaped us into who we are. And so it's kind of weird to not talk about it. So we're going to kind of just give a little down and dirty on growing up in the farms. I'll share a few of my favorite stories and lessons learned from both of us and call it a night.
Let's do it. Go ahead. Start us off.
Okay, so, well, what was the question that you just asked me?
I don't remember what was the question. Did you write it
Oh
down?
my gosh.
That we're starting with that one? Wow.
Yeah, I think we start deep, babe.
Bailey,
We like it deep in this house.
Bailey, you're on a farm.
Too much? Go ahead.
No, apparently not.
Sometimes.
What was hard growing up on a farm?
What was hard about going deep?
No, growing up on a farm.
Oh, so I think the biggest thing that stands out, and God hope my dad never listens to this for lots of reasons, but it was, my parents got divorced when I was 5. And so it was my dad, my sister, and I. Every other night we went from my mom's house to my dad's house. So from city to farm every single day.
Whew.
We didn't know any different. It was great. We got to see every parent every day. And so my sister and I were like 20 months apart. She's older than me. I'm the younger sister.
Still old.
Wow. And so she really enjoyed the farm life and doing all the work and the animals and the plants and all that. She still loves all that. She actually is back on the farm doing all that. And it just wasn't my thing. I was super into sports and friends. And that was really hard for me because my sister and I were the farm helpers. And my dad at one point had the largest sheep farm in the country. So it wasn't just a small operation. And so he needed our help. And I mean, he paid us well and all the things, but I didn't want to be there. And so it strained our relationship for a lot of years. In fact, I would say we probably had a strained relationship maybe until you came in the picture. Honestly, I think that's when I started kind of get myself together, and we'll talk about the lessons learned and things I was thankful for, but you know, early morning alarms, super physical work.
Mm-hmm.
He got frustrated when things weren't going right, like I do now as a parent. It just strained our relationship, and so that was hard.
Yeah.
Especially because my sister loved it and I didn't, so then it looked like, I was the real jerk of the family. What about you?
I guess I was thinking this is a different route. Like, what was hard? Like, it was just hard to work. So I was on a hog farm, and everybody thinks fat hogs, but those things are lean and they're very smart and
massive.
Yeah, I mean, 300-pound hog, it's a big animal. So like, cat over here. But like we had finishing buildings, so they're inside, but it's like a 18-inch alleyway. They have to get them down. which they'd
They
usually walk.
even fit in that?
Yeah, but that was the thing. We had one that was like too narrow, so like it was only one. So then if they got stuck beside each other, you had to like battle them. Then we had another building or a little wider, well then they could go two together, but then they can also turn around. So now their snouts at you, and like I remember that was fun sometimes, just like being the
Do you ever
strong
get
one.
bit?
Oh, they bite all the time, but they don't have
Really?
teeth. So
They don't?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
They have teeth. You break them off.
Oh, we didn't. They came that way.
Mm.
So
How do they eat without teeth? I
oh,
don't
they
understand.
I guess I don't really know that answer.
They had teeth.
They had some teeth, but I know they pull some teeth when they're babies.
Maybe those like canine looking ones.
Probably, I don't know, but they still bit and they have a lot of pressure in that bite. But
No, thank you.
it was fine.
Sheep did not bite.
Okay. But yeah, it was just hard work because those animals are strong and had to come out the door. And as soon as they see light, like they did not want to go out that door. So it's battle them up there and then taking care of the hogs. Like summer, we were baling hay or straw, depending on where we were at, which it's the hottest days of the year. It's dirty work, throwing bales around.
So humid. Everything sticks to you. You're an itchy mess. You have rashes like crazy.
Yeah.
God bless.
I remember
all the
thinking I was
Midwest
hot stuff
farmers.
though, because like I was finally big enough to pick up the bales, and Kevin's over there, one bale in each hand, throwing them up like 6 high, and I'm like, son of a bitch, how do you do that? But that was
You
tough.
weren't a man yet.
And then when we first moved out there, we had livestock outside, so like during the winter, you gotta keep them warm, fed, water.
Yeah.
So it's
And
just a lot of hard work.
our winters were lambing. So the moms were having their babies in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad was up literally like every 3 hours through the night,
Yeah.
30 below. Lord have mercy. Anyway, okay. So that was hard. Maybe we should interject a funny story.
Do you have one, or do you want me to tell one?
You can go first.
I just remember we used to go to my grandparents' house. It seemed like every Sunday as a kid. It probably wasn't that frequently. But I remember a few Sundays we'd come home, drive down the gravel road. We look out and there's pigs walking around our yard. Like, what the hell? They got out again. So we get out there and we have to try and get them back in their pens. That's when they're outside. Man, that was every time I remember just,
Maybe
there's
I had to be
another
there.
hog. No, it was fun to try and get the four-wheeler out and see if we could find them all, and good times.
I love you.
It's good to hear.
Yeah. I'm
What's a
nervous.
funny one for
Well,
you?
I'm nervous to tell it. I just don't want this to cause any backlash.
What's a farm?
Okay. So we had sheep, and the sheep would have tails and balls, and both would need to be removed because of health issues. So the tails, if they were left on, there would be poop and maggots and things. If the tails were off, then it would be clean. And the balls, we didn't want them to be breeding
Right.
boys. So anyway, in our farm, to remove those, we would put rubber bands on their balls. And I
Yep.
mean like a rubber band that literally you can't see a hole through. It's that tight.
Special little like pliers. It's
Yep, to
for
cut
banding.
off the blood circulation. And these poor little boys, I mean, it would like tear my heart of them, but 30 years later, I apparently think it's funny. You would put it on and they would just fall over like one step and fall over as if they were literally dead. And it would take them a hot minute to like pull themselves together and be able to walk away. And it really did break my heart then. But now it cracks me up because I don't know. We talk about you cutting your balls all the time, I guess. I don't know.
Just Bammy, baby. Yeah, no, I remember they came to us already
Done.
done, tails clipped and teeth removed. And that was a big part because they will eat each other's tails. So it sounds bad to get their tails off, but can you imagine them just walking around? Then once they start picking on one, they all pick on it until they can kill it. So we're always going through the hogs. If you can see the ones getting picked on, you got to get it out of the pen because they're going to keep going until they kill it.
Oh, so wrong. I
So,
thought we were telling funny stories.
well, I'm just saying you're worried about telling that story, but it's for the health and safety of the hogs too.
Okay.
That was funny.
No, that was not.
All right, what's the next subject
Okay.
then?
Top 3 lessons learned from life on the farm. Can we
Oh,
start?
Yeah, start
Okay.
with one.
For sure. And you'll probably agree it's lesson number one for you, work ethic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there is just nothing like growing up on a farm. You're up early, you work in rain, snow, cold, you work through the summer, you work through the winter. Sometimes we would take vacation. I don't really know what we did then. I suppose my grandpa helped out then.
Oh.
But vacations were timed around the easiest times to leave and all the things. So I think while it made me crazy and, you know, resentful of living on a farm because none of my other friends really did, it absolutely taught me work ethic. And along with that, I'm going to make this like a 1-2 punch, like being true to my word. Like if my dad told somebody that he would have XYZ done, it was done. And that was totally expected of us. Which is funny. We're talking to the kids tonight about teaching them how to shake hands, right? Like I remember my dad teaching me how to shake hands. Like you'll squeeze their hand, you're firm. Like it is like a sign of like your commitment. You'll do what you'll say or do. Like, so definitely work ethic. And I mean, we joke about it being what's helped us to have an amazing business that we run from home, but it is absolutely the thing that helped us get to the top of our company. I mean, we were relentless in those first few years, and we still work really hard, but especially in those first few years, we sacrificed so much to just keep working, head down, get the things done.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Work ethic. And I was gonna go back and ask you. So that was the hardest part, was being on the farm because
Well, I'm not done with all 3 lessons. You want to finish those first?
No.
Okay.
But being work ethic and how that you use that now,
Mm-hmm.
do you ever think about if you could go back, like knowing what you know now and redoing the farm? Like,
yeah, I would do it with like a happy heart, like we tell our kids
probably do it
all
harder.
the time.
Like, which is crazy to say because it wasn't easy, but you'd almost do it
but
harder.
we half-assed many things. My dad would for sure say that. He would.
Anyways.
God, we should have had him. That'd have been funny to call
Too
him
late.
in. We need to think of an episode we can call him in.
Oh yeah.
It's a damn hoop. Yeah, I definitely would have just been more gracious, more thankful, happy heart, less complaining. But I mean, those things come with maturity. I don't think a lot of kids.
Yeah.
have
So yeah,
that
work
right off
ethic
the
was top. Since you
Okay.
already did kind of number 2. So
No.
should I go number 2? No?
bat. Go ahead. You can go do your number 2.
Well, I would say number 2, which is, it's kind of funny to say, but it's like finances.
Mm.
So I took like 0 finance classes in high school, which I don't
PS,
understand how that's even possible.
did you ever go back if anybody answered our poll thing from last week?
Oh, I haven't yet.
This week's poll, or if you're on YouTube, just put in the comments, or if you're on Facebook and you see this, put in the comments. We were just talking yesterday about we need a good financial curriculum, finance curriculum for our kids a couple of years out. So if you homeschool or you've done it on top of public school when your kids come home, like let us know. The Dave Ramsey I've heard about is decent.
We've done one of those, like or young kids one.
The elementary age one, yeah. But we would love to know kind of like a junior high school money one.
Yeah.
That would be great.
So like I never saw my parents' books, but I can hear, and in farming there's good times and there's bad times. So there's been some good years and people are like, oh my gosh, farmers make so much money. Well, where are those people when it's the bad years?
And where are they when they're buying $300,000 equipment to plant their fields?
Yeah.
Like it's just not.
So they have the good years, but what you don't realize, like when you work at a 9-to-5 job, you get paid every single day. So you know what your paycheck's going to be every month, every year. You might get raises,
almost like
whatever.
The power of saving that they taught you.
Yeah, because you might have a great year,
day.
but you might have 3 bad years in a row where you need to have that good year cover you that entire time. Like, man.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My dad definitely taught me money, but not so much.
Well, that's the thing. Like I never saw the books. I
farm-related.
don't need to see the books. It's just like you pick up on that type of stuff.
Yeah. With that kind of goes my number 2, delayed gratification. So obviously with animals, you are working, bottle feeding if their moms won't feed them, all the things, all the months to finally get to the day that you sell them to get paid. And so I do think that is something I think with our kids that we're not so great at. We're getting better.
Trying. Yeah.
But that definitely was a really great lesson. I mean, even just back to our business, right? And having kids, both of those were definitely not immediate satisfaction. And so that was really good to have had that.
Yeah. All right. Number 3 for you.
Number 3. Well, you kind of just burst my bubble a minute ago. Saving. My dad, so he did it kind of funny, which actually turned out really well for us, is he gave us certain sheep when they had babies. Those stayed ours and we got to sell them. When those babies had babies, those stayed ours. And so I don't think he actually charged us any expenses, but we got to actually save for our college using different sheep. And I remember one year I got this badass, huge, amazing sheep, literally for my
Hey,
Christmas
you want to come
present.
check out my sweet Camaro? Hey, you want to come check out my sweet
Sheep.
I can't even
It's a
say
you.
that.
Literally, I can still see it in the barn perfectly. A big old red bow as one of my Christmas gifts, and like what an incredible investment that was for me. That I didn't have a clue then, but definitely saving. My dad, we knew how much was in our stocks and the bank and all the things. So,
Yeah.
and we pretty much, like he would make us save and spend on things unless it was for bras. Then all we had to do was literally say, so he's a single dad, right? My mom has every other night and he has every other night to 2 girls. And all we had to do was say that we needed a bra, or God forbid the word tampons.
Sweet Jesus, here you
And
go.
he would throw us cash like he was on fire. And we would just get to go take care of our needs because he wanted nothing to do with it. I even remember as a kid, this is totally off subject, but Von Mauer, which is like one of our like nicer clothing stores where like they actually have people that would help you, I can picture it. He would sit in the chair off to the side of the little girls clothing section. And these ladies would just bring us outfits and help us. We'd pay the bill and off we go because he doesn't like clothes anyway, let alone knowing how to help 2 girls. So yeah, it was a hoot. What about you? Third lesson?
So we've kind of covered everything I was going to cover.
Yeah.
But I would say resourcefulness.
Especially with your stepdad.
Yeah, Kevin, he is
Wow.
very resourceful.
He could take a zip tie and make a planter box if he needed to. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, yeah, we had a lot of equipment and I didn't know any different, but like looking back now, it was definitely older equipment, but something would break, Kevin would just weld it up. But that's not even like the main thing, like the hogs. So we have the hogs, but then we also have a shit ton of manure. Get it? A ton of manure. But that just goes right on the fields because that helps the crops grow the next year. It saves you money on P&K. So it's just resourcefulness, using everything you can to get the best thing you can out of it.
Yeah. So kind of wrap this up, I would say one of the things that we've realized in our, since we've been married is how important that life was for us.
Yeah.
And so when we are in Iowa for 6 months, our house is kind of on my family's farm. And so our kids have chickens, and every day one of them has chores.
Tough chores.
To feed and water and get the eggs. And most importantly, I would say is that sometimes they help Kevin, but they help my dad, whose farmland we're around, a lot. So whether it's
planting season or
harvest or putting
wheels.
You call them wheels?
What are you talking about?
On the tractor? Just call it a wheel?
Duals. Yeah.
Which is technically a wheel?
Yeah.
Okay. Clearly I was not around to learn all the things. They're just really, our boys especially, Kinley not so much, but they really just love being with Papa. They love doing the farm stuff, and we love kicking them out the door to do it.
Yeah, they're in the hops a lot too.
Oh yeah, they help my sister. She
Doing a
grows
lot of
hops right next to our house. So I don't even know what all they do out there. Pull weeds and all the things. So we definitely try to get them some of those experiences. Not quite the same, but it's pretty good. And then here in Florida, Lakin, he's really the only one that's working hard, but maybe we should.
He has a goal though too.
Yeah. He rakes 6 of our neighbors' yards every week. Oh yeah, if you're on YouTube, this week's edition is his business card for Lake and Rakin.
Keep the park clean.
Oh, bless. So anyway, we're so thankful for all the crap our parents put us through.
Yeah, thank you, Mom, Kevin, Rusty. Everybody
Way to
that
go, Paps.
pushed us on the farm, it sucked at the time. Now it's probably a little dickhead a lot of times
I
because I
will
didn't want to get
say-
up at 3 a.m. to load hogs.
Oh, we didn't have to do that early. I will say, if you are listening to this and you live Midwest-ish at all, and you're like, gosh, like I wish my kids had that work ethic. All you have to do, I didn't do it, but I feel like this is a good answer, is sign them up to detassel, which there's 108 different companies that do it,
Yeah.
and they will get like 3 weeks
Depends on the season. Yeah, something
Ish.
like that probably.
of the hardest work in terrible conditions. They'll be safe, but they suck. Of just nose to the grindstone. Don't let them quit because they all want to, but just man, those 3 weeks can teach work ethic like crazy.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I actually love detasseling.
What the hell was
I was
wrong
good
with
at
you?
it. I could fly through the fields. It's pretty
Hot,
good money. Yeah, it was.
sharp,
Well, that's the thing. So you start in
early
there.
morning.
It's in the middle of summer
is wrong
because that's
with
when the
you?
corn is tasseling. So then they start early mornings so that way they can kind of beat the heat. Well, early morning, summer corn growing a lot, ton of humidity. So the corn is just wet.
Sharp.
I never had issues with the sharp corn, but it is sharp, but it's wet. So like you go out
Muddy.
there in the morning, you'd go out with, I had my hog boots and stuff. So that was a great part of being in the farm, but I had my boots that go over my shoes. And then I had a whole rain suit on. So pants and a coat. So the water just dripped
Babe,
off
I
me.
bet you were so sexy.
Because then if you didn't have that, you'd be soaked. So then as soon as the sun came out and it was hot, you just reeked and it was hot and humid. I never had those issues. My parents
There you
hooked me
go.
up.
Get yourself in. Get your kids into detasseling.
And if you ever want to visit the farm, I'm sure we could set some stuff up if you're around our area. We got animals out there still. Lots of hogs, not as many sheep. We still have those now out there.
She's regrowing her
Right,
hair.
not as many as your dad had, but she's getting them.
No. Awesome. Well, I think we're good for this week.
Yeah, growing up on a farm. Sucked at the time. I wish I'd appreciate it more, but I definitely appreciate that crap out of it right now. It's good times.
Thank a farmer.
Absolutely. America needs farmers. Go Hawks.
Kamikaze's out.
Kamikazes out.
Kamikaze parents with my